And he was like, yeah, I played a lot of World of Light, but like tournaments are nothing like World of Light. That's how he started playing this game, and now he has become one of the best players in Montreal, even out of region, almost taking sets off of players like Tilde, who's in this building as well. And so definitely a threat, and honestly, maybe it's a little bit of bias, but I smell an upset coming. I know as well, right, players like Remerin, right, who's also very talented here in Canada. This is the one Palutena player she is scared of, self-admittedly. ApolloKage recently over at Gateway Legends lost to Louis Money in Grand Finals. He reset the bracket, but did lose that reset to go second at his hometown major. The possibility is here for Pachisss to take a lead, but AK is so good at this matchup, so good at staying grounded, right? Snake jumps weird compared to other characters, and then trapping Palus when they come in with these aerials onto platform and just applying so much pressure from his bubble. Yeah, I'm just wondering too, Pachisss kind of been out of the game for a while though. This is kind of his first event back. I haven't seen him at any weeklies or monthlies or anything in the region, so how practice is he? I'm not sure, but I know for a fact Pachisss as a player, especially given a day, he knew he had to fight ApolloKage since yesterday. I do not doubt he's been watching ApolloKage. Maybe like that set that you just mentioned against Louis Money and Pachisss finding the up air, catching the jump. First blood goes to him. Let's see if he's able to ride this momentum throughout the set, throughout this game, and maybe take a game. Oh no, AK in a bad situation. This could be a huge opening for Pachisss, but AK gonna mix up Cypher, air dodge off of it, get the hitbox out, and find a way back to stage. Even with back air being active for a third of a second, though, it was not enough to find the hit on Pachisss. Close out that stock at 170. You are past 159.2, so any grab right into down throw is going to do it. Up tilt, obviously. Dash attack at ledge. What won't kill? What won't kill is the question. Jab. Not a lot. Even then, honestly, at ledge, maybe? Nah. Oh. That being said, jab 1 does combo into F-tilt, which does kill. So in that way, you know, it does. AK just looking for an opening. Palu at 180 is so hard to survive with, especially when she relies heavily on that air game. But AK just hasn't been able to find the hit. Yeah. Pachisss has been so evasive and is playing to the corner saying, if I die, I die. You know, I'm at 190. But the upside of putting you to the corner is so high for me that it's worth it. The air dodge getting buffered, but you're holding on and Polar. Pachisss, Pachisss making you look real smart right now. Yeah, I mean, Pachisss is a player that is just so smart and so consistent too. He is so hard to pin down. If you've ever played against this guy, you feel like he's playing Sonic sometimes the way you can't hit him, and it looks like AK struggling to kill that first stock, kind of proving it. Pachisss again taking the stock first. Oh, ApolloKage almost answered right back. Great recognition. That's AK's favorite setup, is that neutral air into grenade explosion in the forward air. But Pachisss recognizing it, seeing those VODs, as you mentioned, and finding the DI in to keep yourself alive. It will catch so many people off guard, but not Pachisss. The C4 on plat. AK just trying to find space. I like the up tilt to try and cover the edge of plat, but Pachisss just not afraid of these up tilts, right? And is just committing in under the plat, not caring about the zone, the laning space of it, not caring about the C4, and AK just hasn't had an answer to trap his movement. Yeah. We're seeing Pachisss doing his classic forward smash. This guy is a guy who loves to use his hard reads F smash. It's not quite going to pan out, but I'm telling you, you're going to see a lot more of that this set. And Pachisss looks for those high recoveries over and over and over if he has the ability for it. That time, AK finally catching on with that double jump neutral air, finding 42 off just 2 hits, trying to close it out, but Pachisss once again going to platform, and last stock, right? We might see if AK gets the chance, we might see him try and find a slingshot out there to call out platform, but the wings are gonna do it. Some holy light. What was I just saying? He loves his reads with that forward smash, and what a statement to start game 1. Yeah. Up 1-0 on ApolloKage. And Pachisss, too, remember, right? Palu's a goddess. We're here literally in a church. That's true. If there was ever a power-up, if there was ever a place for a power-up, it literally would be here, right? The goddess in her holy temple going up against the military man himself. And I think we're going to see another game here of... I was going to say, I think we're going to see another game of... of Snake, and we are. But if we go down 2-0, I wouldn't be entirely surprised to see the Steve come out. I mean, I don't know if how much ApolloKage knows about the Montreal scene, but I would highly, highly advise against going to Steve, because we have Soar in our region, right?
Absolutely.
And the one person that Soar refuses to play Steve against is Pachisss. And honestly, I love Soar. Bias aside, Pachisss makes him look like an 0-2er sometimes when he plays him. So
yeah, I know. Aren't Soar's worst Montreal records the two players we were talking about earlier, both in Pachisss and Remren, finding the sticky though. Oh, and the grenade to boot, trying to cover, but Palu's hitboxes are so active, there's nowhere left to run or hide. That being said, the little bit of a Palka tech chase there, very reminiscent of Brawl Snake, and here on FD, taking away those platforms, I really like this counter pick from ApolloKage.
I was about to say, I was going to ask, because I know FD is kind of a stage that Snake players aren't really a fan of often. But
really? I've never heard that before.
Really?
Yeah.
I swear
we have no bad stages, except maybe Town.
True, I mean, we had a PT Rob game last time, so it was kind of my set to talk, but I mean, now you're the Snake expert here, so yeah. I thought FD was kind of a stage that you guys
It's very, all of Snake's stages are super matchup dependent, except for like even something like Hollow Bastion, which is widely considered his best stage. But yeah, here on, especially in a matchup like this, right, FD, you've got a large amount of space to run away, control the pace of the game. You want to stay very grounded. And while it's scary against a character like Palu to juggle you, she doesn't have platforms to lane or trap your landing, right? So you have freedom with your roots and your reversals, and you have so much space to keep her out, to keep her in the air, and to not let her dodge around, mix up those edge cancels, etc. So she gets a lot more linear in her descents as well. But right now, AK just no answers, and I don't know, if this is a 3-stock, I don't know how you stay on Snake Game 3.
We've been talking about a lot of theory of the matchup and the stage. Could we just talk about how 2 minutes have passed and Pachisss looks like he is putting in the work right now against AK, 76% on his last stock. Pachisss almost hitting another F smash. I think that would have been game, and we would have been talking about game 3 right now.
And AK trying to go for an up air off that grenade conversion, but the grenade exploding just a little bit late allowed Pachisss to capitalize, and Pachisss is playing so confident. You can see, I don't know what his Snake experience is like, but you can tell how well he knows this matchup. He's capitalizing on every one of ApolloKage's lob tosses. When you pull grenade to when you can lob it, it's 21 frames, and then, which is a third of a second. And then from when you lob it to when you're actionable again, it's another 21 frames, another third of a second. And so, and every single time we're seeing Pachisss get in there, contest ApolloKage for it, put him in the air, and just get up there and start juggling. And it's one of Snake's weaknesses and one of Palutena's strengths, but it's been so hard for AK to really get anything started here. He needs to find a full playstyle adjustment, it feels like.
Yeah, I think the small battlefield pick is pretty good here. I feel like the FD pick kind of gave him nowhere to land. It looked like Pachisss was just all over him the entire game, so maybe small battlefield going to give him an option to take one of those platforms over with the C4, you know, maybe.
And less space too, right? You just want to try and scrap with her at this point because, as you mentioned, right, with that juggling, you're betting on yourself being able to get a juggle and take a lead. FD is very polar, and that as hard as it can normally be for Snake to come back from a deficit, on FD it's even harder. ApolloKage, though, speaking of leads, finally finding his first one this set.
Yeah, so relatively early stock. I mean, only 66% to his name, so he's got to be feeling relatively safe. Palu's not really a character that's known for being explosive and randomly killing you at low percent.
Tried to Z shield drop grenade into cross up neutral air backwards to get it to combo into an up air. That was an insane setup from ApolloKage, but he's just getting caught again on these shield drops, right? Pachisss is calling him out for not just shield dropping grenade, but then his shield drop timing afterwards and trying to find it in, but there's the parry, right? The adjustment from AK coming out clutch, and just the reset using grenade to control space, take away that platform. I really like this, right? You just want to prioritize stage control, make Pachisss uncomfortable, and because you're trying to play the one game here. You want to win this game, but you also need to start conditioning for 2 more after this. And so you need to start to make Pachisss uncomfortable on their movement where they've really thrived.
Yeah, I really like, though, Pachisss in that first stock was looking really, is that an S?
That's it.
That went a little, he went a little deep for that down air. I don't think he realized how low he was going, but it looks like this game, Pachisss, first stock especially, was really just going like deep and just holding forward. AK was able to do a great job at capitalizing off it, so now maybe slowing down the gameplay is what he needs. Let's see if it's enough to make this comeback, or if we're going to see this go to a game 4.
And I think Pachisss has discovered, okay, no small battlefield maybe. Going on forward into this set, by just the way AK has been utterly dominant, but Pachisss is starting to close the gap a little bit, not going to find that F smash 2-frame grenade going to get you out of dodge, and AK is doing a really good job of catching some of these hits from Pachisss, who's not grabbed the shield, but is just trying to call out the timings. And while it's been successful so far, AK using these grenades and is able to actually just find more opportunities, get some chip damage, and in the lead, right? All these trades are benefiting him.
But the up smash, catching the jump, catching that high recovery that AK felt safe doing the whole time at the back throw C4.
Yes,
Beautiful.
sir.
I always forget where the C4 is. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was a grenade.
Can I tell you a trick to learning how to keep track of C4 and grenade timing?
Please do.
Just play Snake on Elite Smash for 3 hours. Unironically.
Fair enough.
Because you just internalize the timings and you internalize the placing, and it really only takes a couple hours. And you don't have to main the character. You don't have to do that, but you'll just understand how all of his stuff works. Because this isn't a character that doesn't have, like, combo flowcharts, right?
Yeah.
He just has a bunch of really broken buttons that all just set up with each other. And so you just... it's just creativity, right? It's literally you're getting handed a box of crayons, and what do you want to do with it? So if you don't know how to draw, the best way you can do so is literally just pick up the box of crayons.
Yeah, I agree. That's honestly a tip that I give to everyone. It's like, oh, you don't know how to like play a certain character, or you don't know how to fight a certain character, play as them. You're gonna start realizing, man, this character really does struggle to land. Maybe when I fight them next time, I should really be abusing that a lot more.
And speaking of struggling to land, Pacha loved FD so much, we can assume that's, right, we know that wasn't banned because, well, DSR is in effect, but we do have Kalos here. Surprised to see AK didn't take that one away, but maybe saying, hey, my kill power is so much better than you, the long blast zones, the large amount of space, maybe I can keep you away. Plus these side platforms, right? If Snake gets a lead, Snake with these side plats is miserable to deal with.
Yeah, especially if he's able to make that side his home, and it looks like that's maybe what AK is going to try to do here. Playing a little bit patient. He got a lot of mileage last game off of Pacha being impatient, so it's looking like Pacha did make the adaptation, though, and the slow gameplay. I
want to point out that AK, right, we saw in games 1 and 2 going for a lot of back airs, right, a lot of neutral airs. Now, look at what he's not doing. He's not jumping almost at all, right? He's not approaching in these follow-ups with back air like we're used to seeing AK do. And it's so good with Snake, because not only is it a fast and very active option, it auto-cancels out of a full hop, so there's almost no commitment to it. But AK is realizing, hey, Palu with that back air, with the neutral layer, has really good tools to contest me. So instead, I'm just going to go high, use my Cypher to armor through your multi-hits, and just force you to deal with my nades. Force you to deal with the things that you've struggled to deal with, and just let you move, let you get uncomfortable, and wait for you to make those mistakes.
Yeah, it is nice. The C4 getting tricky. I don't think Pacha was ready for it.
Nope, he
maybe a little bit forgot where it was. Then Kalos counter pick on Pacha, kind of biting him a little bit. He was able to live that back air.
And you mentioned forgetting what the C4 was. AK literally left it there and then was tossing grenades back and forth. And you notice that Pacha kept dashing over it once, twice, then AK detonated it, right? It was the check of, okay, do you know what this is? No? Great, then I got you. And AK is doing a great job playing very different than his normal playstyle, right? That CQC scrappy playstyle, very familiar to any Montreal player who's played against Montreal Snakes before, right? The innovators of that CQC scene for this character, but AK is just willing to play it a little bit more like Chronos, a little bit more like Pelka. These B reverses, these very defensive, just grenade, come at me, hit my shield, and chase me down. And so far, Pacha hasn't had an answer to the trigger switch.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too, because it looks like Montreal is really testing the CQC Snake of ApolloKage, because to make it into top 32 yesterday, he had to fight Ragan. We hear the crowd erupt as Pacha, the hometown hero, bringing AK to potentially his last stock of the winners bracket. This would be a crazy upset.
It would be, but AK is no stranger. The last few big events he's been to, he's actually lost first round of day 2, either top 64 or top 32, and then ran all the way back to top 2 of the event. I believe he got second at Gateway, and then the next event he was at, I think it was Cost, he actually won the event from that situation. Speaking of winning, right, finds the up tilt, takes the stock, and just like that, Polar, it's even. AK still very much alive at this one.
Yeah, and that's what's so tricky with these seasoned players that are just so good, household names, is you can really not count them out until it's over. But that F smash, the crowd, I think they thought that was it, a down smash again.
Air dodge through with the win, knowing the win box, you find your extra space, Polar, and resetting back the stage, taking full advantage of the space, and the air from above, gonna put the stanky leg on you just like that. This character's broken. Those legs are huge. People say they nerfed his ass, but this man is still dummy thick, I am telling you.
Yo, AK with his hand on his heart, dude, I totally thought that it was Pacha that hit that down air. I don't know if you saw, but Pacha down aired. I saw the kill screen, I was like, oh, that's it. But no, it was actually AK with the reversal forward air.
Full drift in, slight drift back at the end, forward air, to line up the exact peak of that spike is something you see AK do when he's down all the time. If you remember at Summit, right, when he beat Leo, he actually did it in that set as well, and people were popping off, doing it here again, and Pachisss saying, okay, fine, you got me once, but you're not going to get me again. Heading right back to Kalos.
Right back to blue FD. I mean, FD got him the first game. That game was so close. If anything, it was in Pachisss' favor, right? He had the advantage going to that, near that last hit scenario. So right now, though, AK starting off pretty strong, 100% to Pachisss' name right now.
And we're seeing yet another playstyle switch from ApolloKage here in this game, game 5. Playing a little bit more like Shogun now with some grenade set play. Very cooked grenades into, like, conditioning you in, getting the trap, again, like Kronos with that up tilt, finding all the playstyles you possibly could look for. Now the AK is coming back out, right, with this CQC. He's pushing his advantage. He's made you uncomfortable. He's cashing in all the conditioning chips because now you only need the one game.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what I was saying with a seasoned player like AK and a great versatile character like Snake. He's using great advantage of the fact that this character has an entire moveset, right? I mean, some of the best specials in the game, some of the best tilts, amazing aerials, and AK is using the entire moveset to his advantage.
Amazing aerials, 24 damage, frame 3, that down air stalls you, does everything you could ever want it to do. AK using it there for some pressure, and now jab 1, trying to find an air dodge mix-up. He was looking for up tilt afterwards, but Pachisss with a very smart multi-jab in response to just cover that option.
Now, what I'm wondering is, how is Pachisss going to deal with this huge lead? Because, especially a second stock going to be taken. It is so hard to make comebacks on Snake. Snake is a huge snowball-y character.
Absolutely, and those high platforms too, right? When you dash off a PS2 platform or a Kalos platform, and you back air, you get the same height of back air. It comes out at roughly the same place as full hop, which means it auto-cancels, which we saw AK use there. So no commitment, finding the DI into the wall and the tech to boot. The beat reverse back saying, I'm going to do this all over again. Now the upper just finding the pressure. Pachisss gonna finally close it out, but Polar, he's got a ways to go and hasn't had an answer, hasn't the momentum he had, the fire in his veins from game number 1 and the game number 2 are just missing right now.
If I had to make a tier list on who's the hardest character to make a comeback on, Snake would no doubt in my mind be in that higher tier. Especially if you're forgetting where that C4 is. Pachisss felt safe, teleport to that left platform, but nope, AK ready.